Good evening. You too. I was going to say I have to separate you, but you're separated. Too bad. Welcome to Family of Christ and our worship during Lenten midweek worship, where we look at or use the Holy Evening Prayer and look at the Beatitudes as part of our Lenten journey. We are glad to have you here, especially any guests or visitors that are with us. Or if this is the first time you've done this, hey, that's great too. We're just glad to have you with us and joining us for this contemplative service that, let's just say tonight we're bringing back the cartoons. Amy's not fun enough, so I thought I'd bring them back. So there'll be a couple of cartoons. Even not just one, but there's two. Oh, I'm sorry. They are on your side. We got a pick hunter for that. So let us begin our worship, and I invite you to stay seated tonight as we join in this journey.
Jesus Christ, you are the light of the world. A light no darkness can overcome. Stay with us now, for it is evening, and the day is almost over. Let your light scatter the darkness and shine within your people here. Joyous light of heavenly glory, loving glow of God's own face, you who sing creation's story, shine on every land and race. Now as evening falls around us, we shall raise our songs to you. God of daybreak, God of shadows, come and light our hearts anew. In the stars that grace the darkness, in the blazing sun of dawn, in the light of peace and wisdom, we can hear your quiet song. Love that fills the night with wonder, love that warms the weary soul, love that bursts all chains asunder, set us free and make us whole. You made the heaven's splendor, every dancing star of night. Make us shine with gentle justice, let us each reflect your light. Mighty God of all creation, gentle Christ who lights our way, loving Spirit of salvation, lead us on to endless day. May God be with you all, and also with you. Let us sing our thanks to God. It is right to give God thanks and praise. Blessed are you, Creator of the universe. From old you have led your people by night and day. May the light of your Christ make our darkness bright. For your word and your presence are the light of our pathways, and you are the light and life of all creation. Amen.
May our prayers come before you, O God, as incense. And may your presence surround and fill us, so that in union with all creation, we might sing your praise and your love in our lives. Amen. From Matthew chapter 5, as Jesus spoke to the people on the mountain. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up to the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him, and he began to speak and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are you when people will revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Blessed are the peacemakers. Wait, no. That I'm not showing that video tonight because that's not appropriate in church. But we got two. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. And it's tough to define what these words really mean. Or maybe it's not. I mean, think about it. For you, what does it mean? Who are the pure in heart? Pure of heart. What do you think it means to be pure of heart? Now, we can talk about what's pure of mind. And I know that some of our minds aren't always that pure. But what is the difference and what does that mean to you when we say, blessed are the pure in heart? Intention. Okay? What else do you think? Blessed are the pure in heart. I'm sorry, what? The core essence of who we are. Huh?
We're getting very metaphysical.
Lucio. I mean, think about it, who's pure in heart. When you think of people in literature or individuals in the world that are pure in heart, maybe you think of Mother Teresa, right? Not that they're perfect in any way, but what does that look like? I think in many ways it's a tough question for us to ask. And when Jesus brings it into there, pure of heart, in many ways, they're talking about what it is that is at our core of who we are. What it is that makes us tick. Our values, our procedures, the things that we look at and we feel and probably know we should act on, but maybe we even act a different way. So what is that pure of heart thing? Well, I'm going back to an individual. This is a story called Jeff. And Jeff, well, let's just say he's got a pure motive, and it's around beans. Baked beans. Campbell's. No, not Campbell's. Another kind of baked beans. So I would say that Jeff is pure of heart. If we looked at Jeff, and there's Jeff in the back row, he's pure of heart, I'm sure, too, right? Always, yes. I want you to turn around and get in groups, small groups here of individuals. And how is Jeff pure of heart? And if he's pure of heart, it said that Jeff then, the second question is, how did he see God? So turn and talk to your friends, neighbors, people that you've just met, your mom, somebody else's mom. So what are your thoughts? How do you think that Jeff was pure at heart? What is it that made up the qualities of Jeff that made him pure of heart? Yes. He just wanted to make beans, right? Basically, he had one thing in his mind, beans, and he used it, that one thing that was core to who he was, right? It affected all areas of his life, right? Most of us, it's not beans, but you can see how, hey, he turned beans into something that served a lot of things. What else is about Jeff made you think that he was pure of heart? Nobody had any other? You talked a lot. He used his gifts, right? Kept using who he was to solve his problems or to live in the world in that way, to make things better. What else did you see about Jeff? He didn't give up. He saw every problem was there. He's like, okay, there's something else I can do. You know?
Put others first.
Put others first. Yeah, he was constantly thinking of because he's developing this for something. I don't even know if this was a commercial for Heinz or not. It should have been. Was it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Huh. So what do you mean? What does it mean by he saw God? If you think of that, blessed are the pure of heart, if we can focus on what's important in our lives, to live into what that is and who we are, to serve others, and in our instance, if we put God at the center of our lives, how did he end up seeing God? What do you think? Joy on another's face. His family. Rooted in something deep and smelly. I think it's important for us to sometimes realize that it isn't about being perfect, this pure at heart. But it's about us recognizing that there's a lot of things that we put inside ourselves that we think are going to make us the world that'll make us better or comfortable, when often God just says, trust in me. Trust in me and be who I've created you to be. And you will see God everywhere. You will see me everywhere. In the relationships that you're part of, in the purpose that we are meant to have, even in our families and friendships that are in this. Well, there's another one too that we talk about too that goes right with this. And that is peacemakers. What makes someone a peacemaker besides someone who makes peace? Well, let's watch another video and see what you think. So the dog's name was Joy, which I think is a fun name for this. But I want you in your small groups or with people around you, what difference did it make for Joy? I mean, you saw this whole thing. It started out as a big argument and a big fight in which he won. But then things change. What difference did it make for Joy to be a peacemaker? Let's talk about in your group. What difference does it make for Joy to be a peacemaker? How does being a peacemaker relate to being a child of God?
You did? There is no way. You're lying.
All right. What difference did it make? What did you come up with? What difference did it make for Joy to be a peacemaker? Yes. He didn't think about himself, or even he was thinking about, I mean, it wasn't that he was selfish in the beginning, right? He was trying to save the worms because that was his, own, whatever you call master's worms, and he was trying to protect them, right? And he saw conflict right in there, yeah. What else did you see? How did it change? What was behind it? Right, he didn't know why the heron wanted the worms in that first place, and when he goes back, I think it's sometimes in our lives we think of conflict as such a terrible thing when we don't recognize that sometimes we need to understand why those that we don't agree with, what's going on in their lives. And when we do, we either have empathy and we can understand it, or at least when we're arguing or trying to stop something, we understand that they're just as human as the people we're trying to protect and in this world. Hurt people hurt people. Which makes, I wonder if peacemakers make peacemakers. Could be the same thing. So how does being a peacemaker relate to being a child of God? They're fixers. Okay? So how does it relate to being a child of God? Love people. When we love one another, we're in relationship that is good with each other. In the end of this simple little video, everybody got more than they expected.
Well, it's the one in the Beatitudes that says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall
See mercy. Right. And so it's interesting in this journey that we talk about a peacemaker relating to being a child of God, is maybe that's where we experience, when we become peacemakers, or see peacemakers, we begin to understand that that's where this reconciliation, to be a family, to be a community, means that we're together. That we find ways to make this conflict, and we know it's still there, we understand that we can do it lovingly together. Well, to end tonight, I want to give you a couple of quotes. The first is from Meister Eckhart, and I don't think they're perfect, but they're interesting, different takes on this. A pure heart is one that is unencumbered, unworried, uncommitted, and which does not want its own way about anything, but which rather is submerged in the loving will of God. Pure heart being not of our own self, but of the one who gives us love. What if we lived there? and from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The planet does not need more successful people. The planet desperately needs more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kind. Just words to end on tonight. Let us continue with our Holden evening service.
An angel went from God to a town called Nazareth, to a woman whose name was Mary. The angel said to her, "Rejoice, O highly favored, for God is with you. You shall bear a child,
Great and merciful God, source and ground of all goodness and life, give to your people the peace that passes all understanding and the will to live your gospel of mercy and justice. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. God, remember us in your love and teach us to pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Save us from time of trial, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
Let us bless our God. May God Creator bless us and keep us. May Christ be our life, our lives. May the Spirit of love be our guide and path for all of our days.
Just a reminder, next week is our last soup, supper, and Holy Evening before we enter into Holy Week. I also invite you this weekend, we're collecting socks and underwear for our whatever it's called. But this Sunday we have Undy Sunday, so we'll bring those forward along with some amazing donations that we've received. So pick up some socks and underwear and maybe throw a couple of bucks in as we help with this too.
And we have ice cream Sundays after church to celebrate Mondays.
After Sunday,
Come for ice cream.
and all I have to say is 2 days ago it was somebody's birthday named Maddie. And should we sing to her?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Go in peace and love and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.